Welcome to the Sisters on the Hill, the podcast from the Sisters of St. Benedict in Ferdinand. We are one of the largest communities of Benedictine women in the United States. And on this podcast, you'll get an inside look at life at the monastery, our work and ministries, programs, opportunities, and more.
Welcome to the Sisters of St. Benedict of Ferdinand, Indiana's podcast. Today I have Sister Laura Marie here with me, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what it's like teaching religious education and teaching in general also. So Sister Laura Marie, could you tell us just a little bit about yourself before we go into some questions?
I have been in the community since 1966, and at the present I do what I say is called monastery services, whatever they need me to do. And one of my recent tasks that I got assigned to was to teach religious education in the parish, and that has been a real blessing for me.
Nice. How many years did you teach in the classroom before you came home?
I taught the second grade for 37 years.
Wow. Tell our listeners, how did you get interested in wanting to teach religious education or even teaching in general?
Well, when I was in high school already, I had thought about being a teacher because I enjoyed learning, and the sisters that taught me that really got me excited about learning, these were the ones I think that really inspired me to become a teacher. So when I entered the community, one of our main ministries was teaching. So I enrolled here in the college, and I began my degree in education. After I was assigned to teach, of course, the second grade in a Catholic school, teaching religion was probably one of my main focuses. Sometimes I really had to get real interested in what I was learning there so I could do the job properly. Prior to that, we just mainly did all the other subjects to get in place. Once I was assigned to a school, I think almost from the very beginning, I was one of the people that they'd say, "Do you want to teach religious ed? We need a teacher in our school." Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I'm learning what I'm supposed to be teaching now, so I suppose I can do that. And I think I did that almost the entire 37 years, wow. All except one parish where we didn't have religious education. But I had a special job there. I'll never forget. I taught one of the young men in my class, and his sister was a special needs child. And the mother said, "Would you like to get her ready for First Communion?" And I said, "I'll try." And I thought, what do I do? Because I wasn't really educated in teaching students with that need. But it didn't take long. I knew exactly why she wanted to take this class. I said, "Sally, would you like to tell me what you want to learn?" And she said, "Yes, I want to receive my first Holy Communion so I can receive Jesus." Aww. That was all I needed to know. Mm-hmm. And there was another girl in the class, and she was so gracious to help her just go through the materials and learn what she needed to. And she already knew why she wanted to make her First Communion.
So what grade religious ed do you teach now?
I teach the fourth grade, and that's interesting because actually that was my first assignment, to teach the fourth grade, but then I got sent back here to go to school, and I never did get to teach the fourth grade. But now I'm really enjoying this because at first I thought, I don't know much about teaching the fourth grade. But really, you don't need to know a lot because it's something that builds on what the children have already learned. And we have a wonderful program now for our students. And the title of the series is called Jesus Teaches Us How to Live. And it's such a gift to share with them how they can live a good life. It has lots of opportunities all the time for them to learn more, but it's always based on things that pertain to them in real life. Like yesterday, I had to do the first 3 commandments. And for them, they had ideas already. All I did was a little activity that gave them some other ideas and confirmed some of those that they were already doing, which was really nice.
So how many days a week do you go down to teach religious ed?
Actually, I only have one class, and it's about 45 minutes on Wednesday morning. But I really do look forward to going there to do this with the students.
So, listeners, if you're not from around the county, you might not know that they have what's called release time from the public school. So the kids come over to the religious ed building here in the town, and then they get to have religious ed, which is great. What do you think is the best part of teaching religious ed?
I think the best part of that is, as you said just now, they have release time. And that's almost a privilege in my books because many places where I was, that was discontinued. But the best part of teaching that is to be able to bring the kids aside and let them know how valuable this is to them and their life as a Christian. Here in the parish, I was really impressed how they are able to attend Mass sometimes, and they do little projects to make cards for the people at the nursing home or the homebound. And it's just a way of letting the people know how important that is into their life and their community. I was really pleased to find out that that is something that they are able to do. And I would say that just going over things with my students, they have learned a lot so far. And that is great.
I think I really like when you tell me stories about what you're teaching, and when I run into you in the hallway, like the other day when you were telling me about the Sacrament of Reconciliation and how just your students were so reverent and able to do that.
Yes. I mean, it was a little of a surprise to me that I almost thought, maybe one or so might go. But one of them went, came back. The next one said, yeah, it's my turn. I would like to go. And every one of them went.
What would be a funny moment you've had teaching?
Oh, I have quite a few of those to tell. But I would say the one that I did with my class was prior to Christmas vacation. We had the lesson on the 10 Commandments and learning about Moses giving the people the tablets of the 10 Commandments. And I said, just wait, after Christmas, I'm going to add one to that list when we get ready for class. And I said, it's going to be, please pay attention in my class. Well, I thought they'd say something back to me, but they didn't. They just looked at me and smiled and said, okay.
How does your life as a Sister St. Benedict play a role in your teaching?
When I thought about this, I thought a little bit of our history. The Sisters of St. Benedict came to Ferdinand to teach the children in this area. And I feel like this is a role of maintaining our legacy that we contribute by teaching religious ed now. Some of us still are able to teach in schools, but I think that is so important because when I meet people in this area or any other place, they're always excited to tell me how they were educated by the sisters. And it seems like that is so special to them. And it is to us as well, because that is mostly their connection with us. We were their teachers for many, many years here in the school, and now we have maintained that by doing religious education in all these places. And when they see you, they have these stories to tell. Even if I see kids from former years, one of the things that always amazes me is they'll say, Sister, I remember when you got us ready for First Communion and First Reconciliation, and they're grown-ups now. That's why I say it's something that we need to maintain as long as we can and be a part of the faith formation of our community for many years to come, I hope.
To continue on that legacy of more than 150 years of being a teacher.
Right, exactly. Because sometimes I think back, I think, oh, there are none of us in that parish anymore. And it's kind of sad, they don't know who the sisters are. Makes me smile when I meet the great niece and nephews. And I know one of the first things he says, Sister, I'm going to make my first communion this year. He's in second grade. And then he'll go on and tell me all the other things he's learning.
Nice.
But it seems like that seems to be so important in their life. And it's like a highlight for them for that year. But I think, for these fourth graders, that they have learned things well, they'll be able to carry those on in their lifetime.
And they can say that they had you as a religion teacher.
Exactly. Yeah. It seems so odd when I was growing up how the sisters sometimes had to be so distant from people. But I think they always found a little way to do that. I can remember one of the sisters giving me a holy card when I came into church, and I thought, okay. It's also a relief that we can be there to kind of let them know really what it is important in their life these days, because so much other things gets to them. One of the first things they said, to honor God and to keep the third commandment was to go to church. And I thought, wow, because other things kind of take them away from them. How many sports things they have to go to and everything. But they still find that as something that they would like to hold on to.
And I'm glad that you could be part of that for them, that to show them who we are also, of that we're human beings too, and that we live out that faith that they have also.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So thank you, Sister Laura Marie, for being here with us. I do have, at every end of every podcast, I've been asking the sisters the same question so that people could get to know us. So just off the top of your head, are you a coffee or a tea person?
Mostly coffee.
Do you like reading mysteries or romance novels?
I kind of go back and forth once in a while. I like to read things that really pertain to history. And the book I'm reading now is The Warsaw Orphan. And I think that always had a special place in my history too, of teaching. By the time I started teaching, mostly the students that came to America during that time were like descendants of that group. But I can't imagine that they couldn't speak English, and yet they managed to fit in.
Yeah, it's amazing. Are you a morning person or a night person?
I would say more of an evening person.
Oh. Would you want to travel to the beach or to the mountains?
Well, I think I would like the mountains because I spent some time in Colorado Springs, and that has always intrigued me of all the things that you can see.
Are you more a summer person or a winter person?
Probably, I would say a summer person.
And if a woman was telling you that she's discerning and thinking about religious life, what would be your recommendation for her?
First of all, she needs to pray that this is God's calling to her. And I would say it's very important these days for someone that's doing that to make some connections with the people in a community, or either someone who is giving that person advice about what's important in their lives. I got asked the question when I was a senior in high school, would I like to take the SAT test so I could enter college? I said yes. Then this sister asked me, what else are you intending to do in your life? And that was my immediate connection to coming here to this community. She was there as an inspiration all the time. And all the other priests and sisters there at school, they did the same thing. So I think that's always important. It's not that they need to, demand that person to do that, but just kind of walk with them along the journey.
Well, thank you for spending time with me, and I appreciate it. And
You're welcome.
Who you are.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sisters on the Hill. If you're interested in exploring what life as a sister looks like and whether you're being called to that life, reach out to us at vocation@thedome.org. This podcast was recorded at Monastery Immaculate Conception in Ferdinand, Indiana, and was made possible by funds from our philanthropic circle, the Women of the Rule. Follow us on social media at Ferdinand OSB or visit us at thedome.org to learn more. That's THEDOME.org. Thanks again for listening and have a blessed day.